Scotland, a land of legendary castles, the scene of heroic battles, where mystic stories originated, and the country famous worldwide for its whiskey. With the finest spirits expert team, we are going on a trip to Scotland for a special experiment. And in our baggage, there are 4 barrels of Eyinger Celebrator beer from Bavaria. Our first stop is the Royal Mile, in the shadow of Edinburgh Castle. Here the visitors are immediately confronted with the true atmosphere of Scotland. Among the numerous sights that the city can offer, there is the Scottish Whisky Experience. This is a special kind of whisky museum, which houses the biggest Scottish whisky collection in the world.
Well, the reason is actually a simple one. Our trip starts at the Scotch Whisky Experience Museum because just as Edinburgh above the airport is the entrance to Scotland, the Scotch Whisky Experience is the entrance into the whisky world.
However, we must move on. Before our first day comes to an end, there is time to learn exactly what lies behind the idea of coming to Scotland with barrels of Bavarian beer.
To tell you the truth, the whole thing was really a crazy idea. At the last Finest Spirits Festival, Andrea Caminici offered me a whiskey from a little wooden barrel, which wasn't whiskey yet because it wasn't 3 years old yet. Then I suddenly had the crazy idea to fill the whiskey into a beer barrel. And then we thought, why not? Crazy ideas are not always the worst ones, so I asked Frank whether it would be possible. I saw the whole thing more from a manager's point of view, and I was enthusiastic as the concept exactly fits the Finest Spirits team. So I asked the Scots then, and I wanted to know whether this is possible at all.
And why not German beer cask, and why not this wonderful brewery from Eyinger Brewery in Germany near Munich, and why not one where we go to promote the whiskies in February next year?
I thought it would be a fantastic manage to mature it in beer casks from Germany, which are renowned the world over as producing the best beer.
And so the whole idea evolved, and after some months of preparation, now we're here.
And how does this Scottish expedition fit together with the Finest Spirits exhibition event?
Well, it means a lot to the Finest Spirits Festival. It's the first time that exhibitors have the chance to integrate their own marketing ideas.
We continue our trip to Bankfoot, to the Scottish Liqueur Centre, where we meet Kenny Mackay. A pleasant reunion, and then we get to the point of our visit.
Okay, here it is.
We open the beer barrel and show our friends typical Bavarian hospitality. Now it is time to decide which kind of whiskey could best benefit from maturing in a Bavarian beer barrel. Kenny introduces us to the whiskies to be considered.
Munich Beer Cask Project, we've chosen 2 casks. And I've deliberately chosen 2 casks which are possibly lighter than one would expect from these particular distilleries. I've chosen 2 hogsheads with very, very little oak influence at this stage. We have 2 casks from 1997. Both are from Speyside and both are from 2 of my favourite distilleries. We have a 97 Cragganmore from a remade bourbon hogshead, and we have a 97 Macallan.
The decision is made.
Now we come to the last step. First we emptied the beer from the barrel, then we tried the whiskey, and we came to the conclusion that Cragganmore is the right one. And now we will fill the whiskey into the beer barrel.
Okay, Frank, you can put the stopper back in, and we'll bring it back to you in Munich.
Evening is falling and we must still reach Portsoy. The idyllic village is on the North Sea coast of Scotland and lives from agriculture and fishing. But since the whiskey boom, tourism has become an important business. In our hotel, we find a local band to delight us musically. We make our way to the Glenglassaugh distillery, our final destination, just a couple of miles northwest of Portsoy, where we meet Stuart Mickelson. In pouring rain, we unloaded our beer barrels, opened them up, and again shared with friends the taste of Bavarian beer. Even Stuart Nicholson finds our eyeing a beer to his taste. In 1875, production of whisky in the then very small Glenglassaugh distillery commenced. When demand fell at the beginning of the 20th century, the distillery was closed, but much remained intact. On the 3rd of March 2008, the distillery was sold to an investment group for £5 million, and on the 24th of November, restarted under the management of Stuart Nicholson. In the warehouse of the distillery, there are hundreds of precious rarities. For us, however, Stuart has selected a whisky which represents the new era of the distillery.
Well, one of our initial successes was a product called the Spirit Drink that blushes to speak its name, which was 6 months in a red wine cask. And we've been looking at those casks every few months during their maturation, and we're very excited by them. Very sweet, soft fruit flavours, and we believe those would be the ideal cask to marry with the beer flavour. And I think it could give an incredible product.
And so it was. The beer was emptied from the barrel to allow the young whisky to take its place. This is the final stage of our experiment, and it brings our Scottish adventure to an end. And our experts are far from happy that it is all over.